Today we're going to look at Magic the Gathering cards where too much of a good thing can end up being a bad thing. I'll accept two different types of cards. One where the card itself is too much of a good thing, like Earthquake, and also cards that maybe punish other people for having too much of a good thing. Okay, we have a red X sorcery. Earthquake deals X damage to each creature without flying in each player, but you know what happens if you Earthquake for 1 billion. Everyone goes down at the same time. All right, next up. I think also maybe I should suggest on the other side of the table, Rakdos Charm. So I'm gonna give you 2 of them because I don't know how many we can fill up in one show. So Rakdos Charm is red and a black, and it very specifically says choose 1 as an instant. Exile target player's graveyard, destroy target artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. And I tell you, if you have too many creatures on the battlefield, it's game over. All right. Are you mentioning? Okay, the One Ring's a great actual example. The One Ring. I actually like that one, PM. Yeah, the One Ring. Actually, I could say this probably is the quintessential card of the show because literally in competitive Magic, people die to this card all the time. I have had so many victories because of the One Ring because it might be indestructible, but you aren't. When the One Ring enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. But at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on the One Ring. And you tap, put a burden counter on the One Ring, then draw a card for each burden counter on the One Ring. So you tap, put a counter on it, draw a card. Next turn, you draw 2, but then you have 2 counters on this. Then it goes to 3, then 4. But that entire time, you lost 1 life, then 2, then 3, then 4. And you also might be, at that point, you might have bought too many cards with your life in some capacity. All right, next up, we got Mean Bruley with the first super chat of the day. The Forced Fruition. Do people really play with this card? This seems like such a meme card. 6 mana for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, they draw 7 cards. Yeah, don't draw too many cards or you're going to be forced to draw your entire deck. And you better have Laboratory. If the only spell permissible in this situation, I think, is what's it called? The only spell permissible would be Laboratory Maniac. Laboratory Maniac into value, I suppose. Next up, I have a feeling I'm gonna disqualify a lot of you people. Howling Mine. I mean, I guess not really. It's like a slow death. Like how many Howling Mines can be on the battlefield? Pay 2. At the beginning of each player's draw step, if it's untapped, that player draws an additional card. No, I can't give this. This is not gonna kill anybody. Or rarely. No Reliquary Tower can backfire on you. You drew too many cards. You got to discard to hand size. I wouldn't say that that's that bad of a thing. Okay, next up, we've got Henrik with the Demonic Lure. The Lure to the Demons. 3 mana for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. But at the beginning of your end step, you lose 2 life for each card in your hand. So if you draw too many cards, I don't think this would kill you with certainty. How many Demonic Lures have to be on the battlefield? Oh, I see, yeah. If you have a lot of these Demonic Lures on the battlefield, you could easily wipe yourself out for the number of cards in your hand. This is the type of card where you need to empty your hand every single turn or you're doomed. Demonic Lore and Forced Fruition, that's a anti-combo as far as I'm concerned. Okay, next up we did, what's Larry Law with the Demonic Pact? What is Demonic Pact? You know what? I don't like this one. No, I'm disqualifying that one. No good. No good. Okay, next up. Let's go with Old Boy's Transcendence. Transcendence. I don't know if you guys understand this show. I don't know if you people get it. Okay, Transcendence, 6 mana. You don't lose the game for having 0 less life. When you have 20 or more life, you lose. When you lose the game, okay, it can work like that. Whenever you lose life, you gain 2 life for each 1 life you lost. All right, so now we're in a spot where if we gain life, it sucks, and also when we lose life, it sucks because we gain life anyway. We no longer lose the game for having almost no life. We lose the game for having too much life. Christopher B with the Death Cloud. I think Christopher B understands the show. Death Cloud. Black, 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 X. Each player loses X life. Discards X cards. Sacrifices X creatures, then sacrifice X land. Let me get you. You go for 100 and you had 100 life. You'll go down together. That's how it works around here. Okay, Cody with the is Earthshaker Dreadmaw. We're Earthshaker Dready. I'll find out. It's enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other dinosaur you control. In some weird capacity, maybe. So I guess if you have 1,000,000 dinosaurs on the battlefield through that Enrage combo, I suppose so. Normally, I would say no. You're probably not drawing your entire deck with your Earth. I mean, okay, in theory, you got like 100 creatures on the battlefield. This could end up backfiring on you. No, I don't know. I'm not going to give it to you for Bitter Blossom. Maybe Bitter Blossom. This is weak. I would say this is a very soft, weak suggestion. So we got black 1 generic. You know what? In one-on-one, this is true. Because people do kill themselves with their own Bitter Blossom. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and you create a 1/1 black fairy rogue creature token with flying. Okay, maybe I should allow this. I mean, I've been dragging Bitter Blossom through the mud for years. Anyone who's been part of the show for any amount of time know how much I think Bitter Blossom is just an absolutely overrated trash card. And partially it's because you don't really get a whole lot for your 1 life. You got 1 black fairy rogue. I mean, like, that's not going to get you very far. It's not going to attack for a whole lot, and it's reducing your life total each turn after that. It's like a ticking time bomb on your health. So yeah, we should qualify this. Sean Abbott with the Rights of Flourishing. The Rights. This is a green 2 generic enchantment. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Each player may play an additional land on each of their turns. I don't like this. This is like the Howling Mine thing. You're not gonna die from having too many Rights of Flourishings on the battlefield. It's not extreme enough. You gotta imagine some scenario where you can actually die to from this thing. I don't mind this one. Okay, okay, yeah, I don't mind this one. Because I've actually been in a lot of games where Sylvan Library did kill people. 2-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your draw step, you may draw 2 additional cards. But if you do, you choose 2 cards in your hand drawn this turn, and for each of those cards, you gotta pay for each of those cards for life. Holy crap. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot for cards. It's like chopping your hand off for insurance money. Yeah, or you have to put pay for life or put the card back on top of your library. It's like the most painful ponder or brainstorm of all time. Now, there is a point where you could stop, but usually you're within range that you'll end up being. You're gonna be a goner. So don't go too far on your Sylvan Library, people. Okay, Argent, the classic, the Black Vise. Ah, okay, so we're going the other way around. For people having too much of a good thing. Black Vise, 1 mana artifact, enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. Now, at the beginning of the chosen player's upkeep, they deals X damage to that player, where X is the number of cards in their hand minus 4. So if they have 7 cards in hand minus 4, well, that's right. They take X damage, where X is the number of cards minus. Yeah, so they have 7 cards. They take 3 damage at the beginning of the game. You take your 3 damage. I always thought Black Vise was stronger than this. It's not banned anywhere. Well, I think this card used to be banned for some reason. It was like 1 mana, because it was like a bolt on the first turn, right? But it's like completely worthless on every other turn of the game. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna accept Death Shadow. Whoops, where's the Death Shadow? I don't know. I'm not gonna because the Death Shadow itself doesn't kill you. What you have to do to get the Death Shadow alive kills you. You gotta suggest those cards. Welcome, Brett. You've 2 days in a row. Look at you. Look, Steve Cooper with Urlock. The Scorch Thrash Mana Burn, baby. Okay, we got 4 mana, 4/4 vigilance, and a player losing unspent mana causes that player to lose that much life. Ah, yes. And it could be any play. And we all add 3 colorless. We cannot spend it. We all take one to the face. Mana burn is back. All they have to do is, design a card for it. Toilet Duck with the Visitor Tour, the Tourlo. Visitor Tour, is this a real card? Visitor Tour? Visitor something. This card doesn't exist, Toilet Duck. I have no idea what you're talking about. There's no such thing as Visitor Turlo. It might be something Turlo. Is it? Oh, is it Vizlore? Oh, it's Vizlore. David's got your back, Toilet Duck. David's got your back. Okay, we got 4 mana 2/5 rogue. Deal with the Black Guardian. When Vizlore Turlo enters the battlefield, you may have an opponent gain control of it. If you do, it's goaded for as long as they control it. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Then you lose life equal to the number of cards in your hand. Absolutely. Death. Greatness at it. Oh, greatness at any cost. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Okay, we got next up. Who didn't get a card yet? David. Etrata. Deadly Fugitive. If you hard focus a player and cloak a lot of their library, if you kill them, all the cards you stole die with them. Absolutely. That's a 3 mana 1/4. Death Touch. Face down creatures you control have 4 mana. Turn this creature face up. If you can't, exile it. Then you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. When an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of their library. I don't get it. How is too much of a good thing a bad thing? If you kill them... Oh, I see what you mean. So... whatever, I guess I'll accept it. The idea is, like, if we attack the opponent too much and steal too many of their cards... eventually they die, and per the rules of Commander, all the cards you stole from them disappear. It's not really in the spirit of the show, but I'll accept it. Cody Humble. Eidolon of the Great Revel? What, playing too many spells backfires on you? This works both ways. Red 2/2. Yeah, whenever a player casts a spell, if with the converted mana cost 3 or less, it's going to deal 2 damage to that player. You want to storm off? You want to play like 20 spells? You want to even play 10 spells in one turn? That might be enough to kill you in one shot. Yeah, so Eidolon the Great Revel punishes too much of playing spells in one turn. Mana Crypt. Well, that's a funny thing to say, because you can only have one in Commander. You can only have one in Vintage. There are very few formats, and by few I mean there are none, except random kitchen table nonsense, where you get to play with more than one Mana Crypt. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, Mana Crypt deals 3 damage to you. And certainly, if you had like a lot of them on the battlefield, they most definitely would kill you. I don't know if I want to count this card, though, because it's like, you can't have too much of that thing, like, in any capacity. You can have one. You have 1 Mana Crypt. Can you have too much 1 Mana Crypt? Sounds a bit weird. Okay, Tommy, what do you got? How about Zancha? The Sleeper Agent. I have a Commander deck with her. All right, we have a 3 mana 5/5. ETB. If it ETBs under the control of an opponent, it ETBs under the control of the opponent of your choice. That's weird. It attacks each combat if able and can't attack its owner or planeswalker its owner controls, staying loyal to the owner. Pay 3. Zancha's controller loses 2 life and you draw a card. Any player may activate this ability. Oh my goodness. What the hell? Zancha's controller loses 2 life and you draw a card. Who is who in this? If I activate it... Oh, the controller loses 2 life, but I draw a card. Yes, I see. This is going to be too... I guess we'll qualify this. Too much of a good thing. No, hold on. No, it is not, actually. Because too much of a good thing for you, drawing the cards, has nothing to do with the opponent. Like, it's not like they want to draw cards. They want you to not draw cards. So this actually gets disqualified. Oh, the One Ring is perfect. We already did that one, though. You can make a bunch of copies of Mana Crypt. Okay, now we're okay. Mana Crypt kills people in command. Yeah, I mean, but not because there's a lot of them. It's because there's one. Yeah, I mean, I've died to my own Mana Crypt. I know how it feels. I'm not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. Okay, Accesta, Dark Confidant. All right. Oh, they have another Art for Dark Confidant. 2 mana, 2/1 human wizard. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library, and you put it in your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. Greatness at any cost. You want to keep drawing some cards? You're gonna absolutely take it. Your life total is gonna go down. You're gonna donate your life points like you donate clothes to the Salvation Army. And I've also seen the greed from people. They're like, just another card, just another card. Man, oh, you don't know the look on people's faces when they flip over their Tasigur or Gurmag Angler, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, that's why they don't put it in the deck. Yeah, that's exactly why. Owlbear Cub by Nicholas. The Cubby Cub. Is that Professor Snape? It could be. You never know. They like to yoink. They like to yoink stuff from everywhere. Like it's like a parody show. I can't think of one right now. But Magic the Gathering is just like parody The Gathering. Okay, Owlbear Cub, 3 mana, 3/3. Mama's Coming. Whenever Owlbear Cub attacks a player who controls 8 or more lands, look at the top 8 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking that player. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. How is this too much of a good thing? Whenever Owlbear Cub attacks a player who controls 8 or more lands. Oh, I see. Yeah, if they have 8 or more. You want to have so many lands? Well, you're going to get punished by the Owlbear Cub. Mama's Coming. I don't think Mana Barbs counts. It's not like having more lands makes you take more damage. Okay, well, Pact Negation also doesn't count. Having more Pact Negate. I don't like those cards. I like, you know, it's gotta be, like, you gotta think this way, people. You gotta, stroke of genius. Target player draws X cards. If you draw too many cards, you wipe yourself out of your library. That's what you gotta do. That's how we gotta think about this. And the Spirit Squad is also with the Mana Barbs. What are you trying to suggest? Like, playing too many cards? Well, Mana Barbs, for anyone that doesn't know. The enchantment. If you tap a land for mana, it deals 1 damage to that player. I guess if you're tapping and untapping lands too much in the same turn, I guess that's a punishment. Like someone playing the Lotus Field deck or something. Oh, I like that one. Price of Progress. Okay, that one I like. That one is directly, if you have too many lands, you're in for a bad time here. In for a bad time. Trade Secrets. Secrets. What are your secrets? Wasn't this banned because it was just too good? Oh, I see, but you could in theory draw out your deck. Sorcery. Target opponent draws 2 cards. Then you drop to 4 cards. Then that opponent may repeat this process as many times as they choose. And you could end up drawing almost your entire deck. It's just in range of dying to, I don't know, the Vice. Black Vise. Yeah, combos that are really bad with each other. We got Zip Serum. Would Charizard qualify? No, since you play another game within the game and it can't even be the original game with its conclusion, no. It's a horrible game to play, that's for sure. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad thing. It was banned because of collusion. Wait, what is Commander? Commander is collusion the game. It's just all politics and collusion. That's the foundation of the damn thing. I wouldn't say Mystic Remora is a bad, like, that's the opponent. The opponent has all power to pay or not pay for that thing. Does Oath of Druids count? Why would it count? I didn't realize this show's so complicated. Oh, you mean, oh, I see. So you mean like your opponent. Okay, so if your opponent has too many creatures, it's a bad thing for them. So, green 1 generic. Although the bar is not very high, Pacers fan forever. If your opponent has 1 creature, they're screwed. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player chooses target player who controls more creatures than they do. And the first player may reveal cards from the top of the library until they reveal a creature card. And if they do, put the card onto the battlefield and all other cards revealed this way into the graveyard. Yeah. If you have a whole 1 too many creature, which could be a sole total of 1, you're dead to the Oath of Druids. So you know what? That actually technically works. Trade secrets is like asking someone else if you should die or not and letting them decide. Ah, yes. Ooh, spoils of the vault. I like this one. Choose a card name. Reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a card with that name. Then put that card into your hand. Exile other cards revealed this way, and you lose 1 life for each of the exiled cards. It is, in theory, possible for you to die. Especially in Commander, right? That's very possible. You only have one of a card in your deck. You could go through your entire deck. Has anyone died to Spoils of the Vault before? I'm sure the number is higher than 0. Both the druids count. No, both the druids counted because you got punished for having a singular creature more than your opponent. Show and tell absolutely is not going to count. Let's see. Phyrexian Arena, not a bad. Phyrexian Arena. I've seen other people kill themselves with the arena. Absolutely. The 3-mana enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. And for each 1 life that you take, that's 1 life closer to death. It all adds up. It adds up. With the Bitter Blossom, with your Mana Crypts, and so on. Okay, Nicholas with the Black Market Tycoon. Oh yeah, this fellow. 2 mana for a 2/2. At the beginning of your upkeep, Black Market Tycoon deals 2 damage to you for each treasure you control. Excellent. That's what we're talking about. You get to create a treasure. Should be very difficult to die to your treasures, because you can just sacrifice them in response. Okay, how about Kono, Defense of the Heart. This is a 4-mana enchantment. During your upkeep, if one of your opponents controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice this, search your library for up to 2 creature cards, and put the cards into play. That's right, in the shelf of your library. Punishing your opponent for playing creatures. That's what they did back then. That's why no one wanted to play creatures back in the day. It was all spells and combos. It's like, creatures? Wow, that's too powerful for this game. We got Vanilla Torch with Tectonic Helion. Seven mana for an 8/5 with haste. It is a Helion, whatever that is. It's like some sort of dragon slug. Whenever it attacks, each player controls the most lands, sacrifices 2 lands. Sorry, if you have more lands, you have to feed it to the Tectonic Helion around here. Blood Moon absolutely does not count. I can't believe how complicated. How does Skrelv's Hive have anything to do with this? Skrelv's. I'll give you a chance. Oh, it's the Hive. I was talking about Skrelv itself, the Defector Might. So this is the 2-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 Phyrexian Might with Toxic 1. It can't be blocked. It's corrupted. As long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control have Toxic and Lifelink. Kawaii Mango. As is the avatar confirms. The Cycloraptor can backfire. What is this thing? It's from Ixalan. The 3-mana 4/3 dinosaur. Whenever a player casts a spell, if it's not their turn, Cycloraptor deals 4 damage to them. Oh, so you mean like... So basically, if you try to interact with your opponent on their turn, they get screwed. Which could include yourself. Okay, we have another super chat from John. Thank you very much for your super chat. Would impending disaster count? I hope it does. The 2-mana enchantment. During your upkeep, if there are 7 or more lands in play, sacrifice impending disaster and destroy all lands. In some capacity, yes. Okay, yeah, so if there are 7 or more lands, this counts everybody. It's just mutually if there are 7 or more lands. Is this banned in Commander? This seems like such a bannable card in Commander. There are 7 more lands in play. Just play 1 land, Soul Ring, and then just try to live off of, like, artifacts for the rest of the game. Okay, next up. We did the 1 ring. It was a great one. Okay, we got Islarf, Out of the Tombs. Out of the Tombs and into Coffee and MTG. The 3-mana enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 Eon counters on Out of the Tombs. Then mill cards equal to the number of Eon counters on it. I see where this is going. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, instead return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If you can't, you lose the game. Oh, this works in 2 capacities. So if you run out of creatures, sorry, if you run out of cards in your library and they blow this up, you're dead. But also, if you can't bring a creature card back from your graveyard, you're also dead. I don't think you understand this show, Paces. Back to basics doesn't count either. I don't know. Maybe I see some particular people, they're struggling. They're struggling hard over here. Like, it's got, I mean, I understand, like, it might be sort of awkward for back to basics. You know, your non-basic lands don't untap, but it's not going to kill you or anything like that. Christopher B with the Divining Witch. Divining Witch, the 2-mana 1/1 spell shaper. It's 2-mana tap. Discard a card from your hand. Name a card. Remove the top 6 cards of your library from the game. Reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal the named card. Then put that card into your hand. Remove all cards revealed from the game this way. Discard, remove the top 6 cards. Can you die from this? And then you reveal. Oh yeah, actually it's possible. Yeah, it's possible that you self-mill yourself. Well, this is a really soft danger to you, that's for sure. Welcome, Maddie Matson. You want to do 9 lives. I don't think Illusions of Grandeur counts. I have no idea why that's even suggested. You gain 20 life, you lose 20 life. Okay, 9 lives. Hexproof. A source would deal damage to you, prevent that much damage, and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. If there are 9 or more incarnation counters on it, exile it. With 9 lives, leave the battlefield, you lose the game. So what, too much damage? I don't know if this... Okay, hold on. How much of a too good of a good thing here is for you? It prevents... It literally gives you, like, what, another 9 life? I don't think I can count this one either. The source would deal damage, you prevent damage. So you literally... It's literally a benefit to you. Wait, is it a good to take a bunch of damage? I gotta disqualify this one as well. Bezos fan forever. The ain't. There we go. I'll give you another super chat for that one. The Ancient Tomb. That's a good one. You want to cast your spells? Well, you're gonna take 2 to the foot. Okay, and eventually you're gonna have no feet left. So you're not gonna walk. You're not gonna walk straight anymore. All right, Ancient Tomb is a great suggestion. Vac with the Angel of Suffering. It's 5 mana, 5/3 Nightmare Angel. If damage would be dealt to you, prevent that damage and mill twice that many cards. Yes, so this is also a fantastic example. You're preventing all the damage you want, but unfortunately now your deck is your life total, so you better have more deck than life total. If the deck get low, you get rid of the angel. Next super chat from Marcos. Coat of Arms can kill you easily. Really? Coat of Arms? How does this kill you? Each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that shares at least 1 creature type with it. Oh, but it affects everyone. Are you talking about like if you play Coat of Arms and this helps somebody else? Because I have no idea how this backfires on you yourself. Unless you're just playing it for absolutely no reason at all. This one doesn't make much sense to me. I need a better explanation for this one. There's not enough explanation. Oh! You hear the sound? I mean, it's time to thank our sponsors. Starting with FusionGamingOnline.com. This is where I buy all my Magic the Gathering cards. The first place I look, at least. The Universe is Beyond. Assassin's Creed is coming out. So if you like the flavor of Assassin's Creed, you might want to get them from FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget also, Balloon Burrow is around the corner. I don't think they've spoiled anything yet, but if you're into fuzzy creatures, well, now's your time for Bloomburrow. And do we have Mon Horizons? Mon Horizons 3 is still out. Pick up your singles. Perhaps the prices have settled down to a price point that you want to buy, and are cheap enough to get in your range of your budget. Well, now not only can you buy them at FusionGamingOnline.com, you can also buy them with coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. Ooh, I gotta edit something here. Was it IEP? I have a new coupon code. IEP. For 10% off your first 2 months, play Magic on Magic Online, renting the cards, play Standard, Pioneer, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Commander, and more. They got some weird and Cube. They got Cube over there. Although Mana Traders is not useful for those Cube players. Okay, next up. Okay, Coat of Arms is symmetrical, so your opponent's tribal deck could also... It's possible. Okay. Maybe you got it for your deck, but then a token deck just use it even better. Okay, you know what, I can buy that. Just ends up being a bad thing for you in some bizarre capacity. Criteria, vague as hell. I don't think it's vague. I even gave good, solid examples at the beginning of the show. Okay, we're gonna have... Okay, we're gonna go to Elixir, the Final Fortune. Oops, what am I doing here? Final Fortune is a red instant. Take an extra turn after this one. Too many extra turns! At the end of that turn, you lose the game. All right, I can accept that one. To take one too many extra turns will be your last turn. I got plus with the Mirror Mad Phantasm. Mirror Mad. There's 2 Mirror Mads around here. Mirror Mad Phantasm is a 5-mana 5/1 spirit with flying, 2 mana. Phantasm's owner shuffles it into their library. And if that player does, they reveal cards on the top of the library until a card named Mirror Mad Phantasm is revealed. The player puts that card onto the battlefield and all other cards revealed this way into the graveyard? Oh, I see. So you shuffle it. It's possible that you mill your entire deck. It's possible. We're going to take a bit of a gamble, people. We're going to roll some dice. So what a weird protection spell. Yeah, I'm going to swoop you right back into the deck. Next super chat, we got Marcos. The Book of Ras. Book of Ras is a 6-mana artifact. 2, pay 2 life, draw a card. This is the most underwhelming card draw I've ever seen. This is terrible. Qualifies though. In theory, you will go down. You'll go down to Chinatown here. Okay, Summer Mermaid Star with the Plague Sliver. Burns the enemy sliver players. Too much slivers is big damage to face. A curse is sudden but inevitable betrayal. Oh, I see. So all slivers have... At the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to you. A small... This is huge. They make this humongous sliver for 4 mana. Wow, sliver players. Already not even like a big part of the metagame. They bring out them big hate slivers. 4 mana for a 5/5. Already stinging everybody every turn. Terrible. Steve Cooper, I sniped you. Rakdos Charm and donate for 4. Rakdos Charm is a great suggestion. So we're going to donate 5 instead. We're going to give one first to Low Fat Latte, Thought Lash. Oh, great suggestion. Yeah, too much will kill you. Well, in another sense. The 4-mana enchantment, it's got cumulative upkeep, remove the top card of your library from the game. So that can do you in by itself. When Thought Lash's cumulative upkeep isn't paid, remove your entire library from the game. Remove the top card of your library from the game. Prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to you. I love this card. I think this card's great. It's a reserve list card, too. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, Christopher B. The Juzam Sliver. I thought that was interesting. They reprinted Juzam Djinn. Isn't Juzam on the reserve list? I could be wrong. Kano Incite Rebellion. I think this is the second one. 6 mana sorcery for each player. Incite Rebellion deals damage to that player and each creature that player controls equal to the number of creatures they control. Ah, you want to... Oh, you just spewed a bunch of creatures on the battlefield, did you? That was a very nice turn. Well, now I'm going to Incite Rebellion. And you're toast. You know, we suggested Howling Mine earlier. I'm not accepting that card. I don't like it. I think you're not going to die very quickly. And I don't think you're going to die any faster than anybody else is at the table. Ayo! Sage with the Enduring Archangel. Enduring Archangel? Enduring, I'm gonna look up Enduring something. Are there any Enduring Angel? Maybe Enduring, oh maybe it's Enduring Angel instead of Archangel? Is there an Archangel? We have one Enduring Angel. Is there an Archangel on the back? No. Okay, what does it say? Let's see. It is 5 mana for a 3/3. Flying double strike, you have hexproof. If your life total be reduced to 0 or less, instead transform the thing and your life total becomes 3. Then if Enduring Angel didn't transform this way, you lose the game. Weird! Okay, hold on. So it flips, and then its power and toughness are each equal to your life. Well, which is not very high, apparently. When it attacks, double your life total. Does this count? Life total will be reduced to 0 or less. Instead, transform it, and your life total becomes 3. I wouldn't say this... It's close. I don't see how it's a good thing becomes a bad thing. You, like, literally gave you a second life. It's the only problem with this card. I disqualified Charizard a lot earlier. And 9 lives literally gives you... I don't understand. 9 lives gives you literally 9 more life. Okay, next up, we'll take... Okay, Blackbird. Villas, Broker of Blood. 8 mana demon with flying. Pay black, pay 2 life. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. I love it! Whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. I love it! Yeah, 9 lives prevent... Well, no, but it doesn't become a bad thing. It, like, literally prevents damage and extends your life. You would have been dead without the 9 lives. Like, it's like a free roll from there. That's the problem with 9 lives. 9 lives... Oh, sorry. Tom Squires. Where are you, Tommy? Repay in kind. Screw your opponents, but possibly you. 7 mana sorcery. Each player's life total becomes the lowest life total amongst all players. Yeah, I can accept this. So you have too much life compared to everybody else. You're the one who gets punished the most. The important thing is to make sure everybody has enough life. Okay, Argent with, how about this odd one? Psychic Vortex. Okay, we got a 4 mana cumulative upkeep, draw a card. Yeah, that could be a problem. At the end of each of your turns, sacrifice a land and discard your hand. Holy God, this is just back-breaking all around. So you could draw your deck. It's possible you will be stuck with nothing in play with this card. This is a fascinating reserve list card. Cumulative upkeep, draw a card at the end of each of your turns, sacrifice land. You need to have this in like a deck that can play more than 1 land a turn, so you can keep up with the end of turn. Like you don't have to sacrifice lands equal to the cumulative upkeep. But this is a great card. This is very interesting. I like it. No, Phyrexian Negator definitely does not fit this show. Can't have too much Phyrexian Negator being a problem. The Whale... Okay, hold on, no. Okay, we'll do Whale of Darkness. The Soul Gorger Org. Got 5 mana, 6/6 dummy. It's a Nightmare Org. Flying. Sorry, Trample. Not flying. Comes into play, you lose all but 1 life. That's terrible. When it leaves play, you gain life equal to the life lost when it came into play. I don't know. I'm not feeling it with this card. Like, it's not good to have, but it's not like too much of a Soul Gorger Org. If I have a second Soul Gorger Org, it doesn't change anything. Okay, Ayo gonna redeem themselves. I don't know. Was it Ayo that needed to redeem? Yadwen. Afrit. Don't worry, old cards definitely are permissible. This person is naked. They're naked. Like, I'm sorry, I've misplaced my clothes. It's red, 3/6, Afrit. Whenever you're attacked, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, it can't block this turn. Whenever you're attacked, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, can't block this turn. That is so weird. Anyway, I don't think this one counts either. I don't see how if you have too many of a Yedwin Afrit, if it's bad to you. Do you mix up Phyrexian Negator and Obliterator? How is it that you have too many Phyrexian Negator that can be bad for you? What if your opponent has no damage spells? I know what Phyrexian Negator does. Let's go with Dustin. We got a super chat. We got people donate to the show around here. Wayward Guide Beast. I thought this was going to be an easy show. I was dead wrong. It's a red 2/2 beast, trample and haste. Whenever Wayward Guide Beast deals combat damage to a player, return a land you control to its owner's hand. So combat damage to a player. Oh, that's interesting. So if we have too many of these, we're constantly bouncing our lands back, and then we'll have absolutely no lands left in play. Okay, I can accept this. Dustin says, I think I misunderstood. Oh, I picked Wayward because it got good things, but also really... No, it's fine. It's fine. If we have... You can have multiple Wayward Guide Beasts in the game, and then you'll return all your lands back to your hand, rendering all your land drops useless. Oh, we got Salty Rad with a Psychic Battle. Because while it is good semi-protection, the owner can still get screwed over sometimes too. This is supposed to be like, okay, so let's look at how good it could be for ourselves. Blue, 3 generic for an enchantment. Whenever a player chooses one or more targets, each player reveals the top card of their library. Now, the player who reveals the card with the highest converted mana cost may change the target or targets. If 2 or more cards are tied for the highest cost, the target or targets remain unchanged. Each player chooses one or more targets, then each player reveals the top card of their library. The player who reveals the card with the highest converted mana cost may change. Oh, I see. So if you're up, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. How is this? This is such an interesting card, but what does this have to do with the show? So too much of a good thing, too much of your opponent's high mana costs are a bad thing? I mean, it's good, but you're the one who... Okay, whatever. I don't know, you guys tell me if this one qualifies or not. It's a bit weird to me. King Ginger, jumping in. Have we done Avacyn? Avacyn, Angel of Hope. Flying Vigilance, indestructible. Other permanents you control have indestructible. How is this a bad thing? Wait, does it? Oh, does that mean like there's sometimes permanents you want to get dumpstered into the graveyard, but you can't remove them because they're indestructible? Other than that, I have no idea what this has to do with this show. Okay, how is everything indestructible a bad thing? Man, I'm just going left. I'm just hitting the disqualified hammer today. Because everyone targets you. Disqualified. If you have if you have a second one, it's dead. That's why. Oh my goodness. Bedizzle. That is the laugh of the day. I like that. That's not a bad comeback, to be honest. Yeah, if you have too many of this legendary creature, it'll be bad. They'll all go to the graveyard. Also, though, if you're playing Commander, your deck is completely illegal. That was funny. Michael Ing with Hatred. Oh yeah, there we go. We got 5 mana. Instant. Pay X life. Target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn. Remember, yes, if you pay too much life, you're going to be stone dead. Spectral Maniac says, Kronk voice. Well, you got by me. Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, next up, Bryce's Leech's Mastery. 6 mana for a legendary enchantment. Hexproof, you can't lose the game. Whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, for each 1 life you lost, exile a permanent you control or a card from your hand or graveyard. When Leech's Mastery leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. So basically, if you still lose too much life, or I guess, okay, within this sense, if you gain too much life, you'll draw too many cards. No, but it says you can't lose the game. Maybe now I think what I have to do is get you guys to explain to me how is too much of this thing a bad thing for you? Because if you draw too many cards, even if you draw out your deck, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything, right? Because you can't lose the game. If you lose life, you lose for each 1 life you lost, exile a permanent or card. But like losing life wasn't a good thing in the first place. I have to disqualify this card. It doesn't make any sense. It's like basically every 1 out of 3 cards passes. 1 out of 3. Unbelievable. I don't even know how I don't even know how Fires of Invention actually passes. Okay. Okay, let's look at Archfiend of the Dross. I didn't know it was so complicated today. Enters the battlefield with 4 oil counters. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter from it. Then, if it has no oil counters on it, you lose the game. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, its control loses 2 life. Okay, that one qualifies because if your opponent has too many creatures and you board wipe them, they basically lose on the spot. On the spot. Super chat's rolling in. All right, you people are in competition to get some real cards on this show. We gotta work hard today. Salty Rat says, well, if you want one that will screw you over way worse than Possibility Storm, is a better choice for this show than Psychic Battle. Okay, Possibility. Five mana enchantment. Whenever a player casts a spell from their hand, that player exiles it. Then exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a card that shares a card type with it. That player may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then they put all cards exiled with Possibility Storm on the bottom of their library in a random order. Again, how is too much of a good thing a bad thing in this situation? I need explanations, people. I don't see it here. It just makes the game jank, that's all. But even though okay, every single time we disqualify a what Possibility Storm? Yeah, I don't get it either. Okay, let's give. Okay, hold on. Aggressive Mining. The more you use it, the worse your mana base. Okay, I can get behind that one. Yeah, this is working already. When I make you guys, if I make you all explain it to me, it makes more sense. And also, I make you guys realize how little sense you make. So we have a 4 mana. You can't play lands, and if you sack a land, you draw 2 cards. But then you got no land. You got no land to play your spells. Yeah, too much of a good thing does become a bad thing in this situation. Finally a good place for aggressive mining too. Aggressive mining's been on this show a few times. It didn't fit very well though. Pabno. Not sure if this has been given yet, but I've accidentally decked myself out with loot. The key to everything. My pet deck. This is a new card. We got the 3 mana 1/2 with Ward 1. It's a Beast Noble. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of card types among other non-land perms you control. You may play those cards this turn. Ah, yes, this will definitely works out. So this is like it's like the milling almost like the milling version of Dark Confidant. It's basically like Dark Confidant, but in the form of milling. You have no more cards left. They're gone. They're exiled. They don't come back from exile. Once they go to exile, they don't come back. Uber Tuna says, I'm gonna go for the Dovescape. Because counting your opponent's spells is good, but doing it too much and they get 1,000,000. Oh, not a bad explanation. So we got 6 mana enchantment. Whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, counter it, including yours, by the way. The player puts X/1/1 white and blue bird creature tokens with flying into play, where X is the spell's converted mana cost. Next up, more super chats. Okay, Steve Cooper trying to defend Phyrexian Negator. I don't know, you can't do it. It's impossible. Phyrex Indicator makes you sack stuff. Yeah, but, like, it requires the help of your opponent cooperating. Phyrexian Obliterator makes the Source's controller sack stuff. But having too many Phyrexian Negators doesn't do anything. If my opponent is a brick wall and I play 20 Phyrexian Negators, then they do nothing about it. They don't block, they don't burn it. Having more Phyrexian Negators doesn't change my situation. That's why it got disqualified. That's why, and you already knew it was going to get disqualified, Steve Cooper. That's why you said donate for 3. Phyrexian Negator wasn't going to make it. We did Dark Confidant already, Quadizzle. Great suggestion, though. Hypergenesis definitely does not count. Okay, there we go. Necro Dominance. Very rarely, to be honest, has this been too much of a good thing that it became a bad thing. 3-mana enchantment, skip your draw step. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay any amount of life. If you do, draw that many cards. Your maximum hand size is 5, which as if that even matters. If a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. Yeah, I have, on occasion, killed some people. What they did, it's called the Necro Lock. You drew enough cards through your life, but then it didn't go anywhere, and you can't draw any more cards. That's it. That's all you get for the rest of the game. You lose. Okay, we got King Ginger's Constant Mists. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, hold on. We have 2 more donations from Steve Cooper. This was premature. Okay, 2-mana instant buyback, sack a land. Creatures deal no damage this turn. Love it. Use fog too many times, you have no lands. Okay, 2 more. We give it to Pedgeman. Overflowing Insight. Draw so much, it's sometimes used to kill with a couple copy cards. Otherwise, you can't go wrong. Otherwise, with Demonic Pact, that will kill you. Yeah, but that one doesn't count. I don't like that one. Overflowing Insight, the 7-mana sorcery. Target player draws 7 cards. I'll accept that one. Well, okay, look. The show is not about cards that backfire on you. The show is called Too Much of a Good Thing Can Become a Bad Thing. You draw too many cards through life, you almost dead. You mill your deck out, you have no deck left to draw from. You know, it's that to that nature. I think I now understand. Yeah, you some of you have the idea, well, you know, it's, you know, this is a show about cards backfiring on you, hence Demonic Pact. No, it's not. It's not about that at all. Okay, Ad Nauseam I accept too. Ad Nauseam. The 5-mana instant, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. So how much life do you want to pay here? How many cards do you want to go down to? Everyone flips over tons of cards until they start reaching like 5 life, 4 life, 3 life. Now they have to really think. How many 3 drops are left in my deck? How far can we go here? Okay, next up we've got... We just did Necro Dominance. Vayne. We just did it. Bojack Yellow. We did Hatred. Yeah, now that everyone understands the show, we don't know. Okay, Michael, hold on. Okay, I'll do Michael's thing. Brain Geyser. That's right. Target player draws X cards, and if you want to draw your entire deck, it's going to be lethal. Marcos, we did Force Fruition. Fantastic suggestion. Very, very good suggestion, but we did it already. So you actually, you got sniped in some capacity, sort of. But not really. Who else did I want to get from? Danny! Lind, Cheerful Tormentor. We got the 4-mana 2/4 Death-Touching Human Warlock. Whenever a curse is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return to the battlefield attached to you. Beginning of the next end step. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may attach a curse attached to you to one of your opponents. If you do, draw 2 cards. I guess there's a world where you draw yourself out with this, but that is a very, very loose. Very, very loose. Shieldred is just a Death Shadow booster? Maybe. Kano with a Mage Bane Lizard. How many Mage Bane cards are there in this game? Storm off, go ahead. Mage Bane Lizard? What if I put in Lizard? That'll make it go fast. We're stuck. Scryfall is stuck. How's everyone day so far? Everyone enjoying the Modern Horizons 3 cards? Okay, we got Lizard. It's a 2-mana 1/4. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Mage Bane Lizard deals damage to that player equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn. Ah, excellent. You want to storm off? You want to play a lot of spells in one turn? Be my guest. The Lizard has something to say about it. I did get all my errands done. Just in time. Okay, next to Super Chat. We got Consecrated Sphinx. Opponents draw lots, you die. Oh, yeah. Hold on, no, but isn't it a May? Do you have to draw? I think it's you may. But it's still, if you draw too many, it's like, this is pretty weak on the weaker side. This is on the Howling Mine side of things. When an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2 cards. Yeah, so it's like, I think it's a weak suggestion. It's just that, like, unlike something like Forced Fruition, like, you can draw a lot of cards by Forced Fruition, but it's very hard to draw your entire deck with Consecrated Sphinx, or Howling Mine for that matter. Or at least I think it's hard. But it's still, I guess it barely counts. Here, for all the Howling Mine players earlier, everyone who suggested Howling Mine, at the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card. There, I'll put it on. Next up, we've got King Eduardo. Storm the Festival. In mono green. Storm the Festival sometimes mills you out if you are not careful and you keep casting it. Interesting. I've never seen that happen, but I totally believe it. 6 mana. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put up to 2 permanent cards with mana value 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Oh no, it's impossible to mill out because you put them in on the bottom of your library in a random order. You're never milling out with this card. If it exiled them or put them in your graveyard, it'd be a completely different story. I got the Ozlet's Pride, so I'd say, oh, you had a good time with Modern Horizons 3, huh? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for them kawaii cards, kawaii mango. You want them kawaii cards. The Sixth Sense, the Cultivator Colossus. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. It's got Trample, ETB. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. If you do, draw a card and repeat this process. Enters the battlefield, you may put a land. Oh, so in theory, you could mill yourself out? Yeah, I guess though. In theory, if you have a lot of lands and you just keep, you just keep putting them lands in play, you could be very close to decking yourself. Elmo with the Dream Halls. You can't have too much Thassa's Oracle, King Ginger. I don't see how that would ever be a bad thing either. Dream Halls, 5 mana enchantment. Rather than pay the mana cost for a spell, its controller may discard a card that shares a color with that spell. Oh, I see. So it's like, what is this? It basically turns everything into Force of Will? Or like this, everything becomes a pitch card. And then if you use this too many times, you have absolutely no cards left in your hand. Next super chat from Salty Rob, because your opponents can get crazy stuff out too, huh? Oh, I have no idea what this is in response to. Because your opponents can get crazy stuff out too, or that was not too far. Yeah, I have no idea what it was in response to. But we're going to donate it. We'll give it to... It was for Possibility Storm. I wouldn't say this has anything with too much of a good thing as a bad thing, though. Matty Matson with the Mana Vaults. I guess you can have too many Mana Vaults. We had what's it called on here earlier. Mana Crypt. So I guess we can have Mana Vault. At the beginning of your draw step, if Mana Vault's tapped, it's going to deal 1 damage to you. You pay up that 1 damage. Quadizzle. Balance is a good one. It's the ultimate too much. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's right. You have too many lands. More specifically, not too many. It's just more than me. If you have too many lands more than me, too many creatures more than me, let us balance this out with the balance. Each player chooses a number of lands they control, equal to the number of lands controlled by the player controlled the fewest. Then sack the rest. You do the same thing with discarding cards and sacking creatures. If you're forced to draw with Thoracle on the stack, you die. I don't know, probably does. Yeah, this definitely doesn't count. It's not Thoracle that kills you. It's the cards that milled your deck that kill you. Or the card that made you draw a card kills you. Dying to Mana Crypt says, we did that. We already did Mana Crypt. That's the problem. Hey, you're right. You're dead right. Okay, we're going to donate that one, too. Marcos, the Urlock. Oh, did we do this one? Oh, yeah, we did this one. Great suggestion. Hive Mind. Getting free spells is great till your opponent kills you with it. I don't think the idea of this, whenever a player casts a spell, each other player... I think the idea is you're supposed to give them to them. This is definitely a disqualification. Like the whole idea was to give your opponent your spells in some weird way, for some reason. Dream Halls works amazingly with Tamio, the Moon Sage. Interesting. Oh, something simple. City of Brass. I like that. Too many of these pain lands will do you in. Whenever City of Brass becomes tapped, it's going to deal 1 damage to you. But you get 1 mana of any color. Pacers fanfare with the City of Traitors. So, I don't think Commander players understand this so well. I guess they do, because it's any land will make you sack your City of Traitors, right? When it loads. City of Traitors being the land, tapped for 2 colorless. But whenever you play another land, you have to sacrifice it. Too many lands in play is a bad thing for the City of Traitors. Well, there we go. So the City of Traitors has arrived. Yep. Good stuff. Next up, we got Salty Rad. Did we do the 1 ring yet? Yeah, we did the 1 ring. That was suggested super early. Okay, Quadizzle says, I've killed myself with... Oh, Ral! The new Ral. Ral, is it Viceroy Ultimate? Oh, the Ultimate? Oh, I thought you meant the other Ral. There's the new Ral from Modern Horizons 3. Some people have died to that thing. Their life total is low, but they can't flip it. Okay, let's take a look at Ral. It's a 5 mana, 5 loyalty. Now, at -8, you get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target, and you draw 2 cards. You actually almost died from casting spells, whereas your opponents were at infinite life, and you just kept drawing cards to see if there was any way you could defeat it. That's the only way I could see this backfiring on you, but you're right. It can become a bad thing eventually. Kagan with... I don't know if this counts. Yeah, that's what everyone has prefaced today. To say Kate Stewart. Comboing with Soul Tether Golem since mandatory infinite draws. Soul Tether Golem. You're squeezing in a bad combo that actually works, are ya? It's okay. Kate Stewart, 4 mana, 3/3. Whenever you put 1 or more time counters on a permanent you control, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Whenever Kate Stewart attacks, you may pay 8. If you do, attacking creatures get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of time counters among permanents you control. Whenever you put 1 or more time counters on a permanent you control, create a 1/1. And then vanishing 1. Whenever another creature is put into play under your control, put a time counter on Soul Tether Golem. Whenever you put 1 or more... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we just loop for eternity. Yep, that's too much of a good thing. This is definitely one of those bad combos that we should have another show one day. Bad combos that is not good for you. Bad combos that are bad for you. Would anyone be interested in that type of show? Bad combos that are actually not good for you. They work, but they're not recommended. Okay, Dancing Odie with Scrub's Hive. We did Scrub's Hive, if done for Exceeding Arena. We also did that one too. Both can ping you down quick, especially against an aggro deck. We did both of those, Dancing Odie. So sorry. So we're going to give one of those to... We did Dark Confidant. Pabno with Tribute to the World Tree. Okay, Tribute to the World Tree is a creepy, creepy picture. He says, and up the beanstalk. Once was drawing 3 cards for every card played, getting more creature cards to play. How does this work with up the beanstalk? 3/3 green, green, green enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. If its power is 3 or greater, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. I don't know if up the beanstalk changes anything. Are you just saying, like, with some enchantment with... Basically an enchantment that makes you drop tons of cards per turn. I'm going to appeal to you as a player Ether Vial, so you know how it feels when you draw all your vials and no... Yeah, drawing too many... You want, like, probably exactly 1 Ether Vial per game. Drawing too many Ether Vials sucks balls. It's awful. At the beginning of your upkeep, you put a charge counter on Ether Vial, and then you tap it to put a creature in play equal to the number of charge counters. But drawing a Vial like on any other turn except turn 1 just sucks. Okay, King Ginger with the Gaia's Cradle and getting board wiped. I don't know if this counts though. Tapped out of green. That's the good thing. Guy's Cradle. This is just getting punished for playing this card. I have to disqualify this. There's nothing bad about playing Guy's Cradle. It's just it just backfires if your board is wiped. So we're donating this one to who are we gonna give this to? Okay, Christopher B. Spiteful Visions. Spiteful Visions, they 4-mana enchantment. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Whenever a player draws a card, it deals 1 damage to that player. Excellent suggestion. Could be very, very dangerous to your health, indeed. Pays to spam forever with the Grizzlebrand. Grizzlebrand as I have so many of my opponents have died to their own Grizzlebrand just from like drawing too many cards. Pay 7, pay another 7. Shizer. I can't win from here because it has flying and lifelink. You pay 7 life to draw 7 cards. It's hilarious how these combo decks, they have so much garbage in their deck that very often paying 14 life still doesn't do the job. They still lose. Victor Foxy Gamer says, Massacre Girl, the Thunder Junction one. I wiped my own board with her one time. It was Massacre Girl. This is the Thunder Junction one? This is Karlov Manor. There is no Thunder Junction. I'm assuming the new one. Creatures control have Wither. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. Oh, I see. So, you almost wiped... No, I think you must be talking about the original one, the OG. I wiped my own board with her one time. Okay, that's this one. When it enters the battlefield, each creature gets a -1/-1 until end of turn. Yeah, and then if you start killing off your opponent's creatures, too many of them, it will just wipe out the entire board. Whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 until end of turn. At least you get your Massacre Girl. Kagan. We got Lisa. Shrouded Dusk. Did we do this one? No, we did not do this one. Nuff said. Kagan didn't even need to explain anything. It's a 5-mana 5/5 angel. Rather than pay 2 for each previous time you've cast a spell from the command zone this game, pay 2 life that many times. Holy moly! Flying lifelink. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. Interesting. So the more you play this from the command zone, the more you're closer to death. We have anything left? We gotta take a free one. Argent, a silly one, Mana Clash. It's a red sorcery. You and target opponent each flip a coin. Mana Clash deals 1 damage to each player whose coin comes up. Tails. Beat this process until both players' coins come up heads and on the same flip. So it's weird. Too many coin flips is a bad thing. It's like we want to deal them damage with Mana Clash, but not too much damage. This could go infinite to kill ourselves too. Interesting. Well, that's it for the show today. What an interesting show. I don't know. It took like we had to go 70% into the show before I think people really understood what the hell this show is all about. But we sort of got there. As usual, if you want to be part of the show, Coffee and MTG, you got to be here 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And thanks everyone who shows up today. And also thanks everyone who supports the show by being a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or you super chat for other people to be part of the show. You all know who you are. And thank you so much for being here today. People like Bryce Uber Tuna, Christopher B, Low Fat Latte, Vic the Foxy Gamer. We got Toads King Ginger, Pedgeman, Steve Cooper, Kano Argent, Pabno, Tom Squires. We got, who else we got here? We got the Uber Tuna. These guys are on my crew. So thank you very much for being part of the show and being the show itself. So as usual, keep brewing up them coffees, my coffee crew. We'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.